The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances.
Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Ezel, and I have a special guest in the building today. Tonight's guest is someone whose impact on me, on my life, goes beyond media, beyond opportunity, and beyond platform. He's a visionary, a builder, a steady voice when life gets loud. Many people know him as a media mind, someone who has worked in radio, someone connected to the He Said What Network, and now the founder of the United Front Network, the very platform that gives a frank conversation a home. But for me, this is also someone who has poured into me personally. When I had ideas, he helped me shape them, from Moon Man Moves Monday to the very introduction that just played. When life felt heavy, he's talked me off the ledge more than once. When I doubted myself, he reminded me of both my greatness and my flaws. He held up a mirror and showed me that I'm not what I went through. I'm not who I was. I am becoming the version of me that I've always wanted to be. And because real people don't just flatter you, they sharpen you. I've been honored to call that man my brother, my friend, my confidant. He's from Detroit, a city that builds grit, perspective, and resilience. And his own journey carries weight. Life changed early when for him, and he has in fact made sure that with every change, he's navigated it with just style and grace. Uh, Through it all, man, he built something meaningful. Tonight isn't just about media. It's about endurance. It's about brotherhood. It's about growth. And this is a frank conversation with my good friend, Royal Gaines Jr.
It is me. I am him. I am the one. Oh, yeah, that's your catchphrase. Right? I'm going to put that on board myself. Bro, I was like, who is this guy he's talking about? He could be talking about me. Wait a minute. Damn, I'm honest. Yo, I got to live up to that now. Thanks, Ezel. God bless America. Like, I got to live up to that. No, man, I love you for real, though. You are my brother. I am inspired by you all the time. Like, all the time, because, like, one thing that impressed me about you is you didn't give up. At times where I was like, he was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not done. He's like, you're right. And then you went on and did better stuff after the battery was placed. So I always respect you for that, dog, because you didn't give up when times got rough. So, man, so it is my pleasure to be a part of your life, dog. Y'all, I keep trying to tell people, y'all are gifts. It's not me, it's y'all. I'm not the person I am if I don't have people like you in my life. This is kind of what it is, my man.
Bro, listen, bro. I mean, I go on for days about, how you've been a gift and a blessing in my life, especially, back when I was standing in the garage on the phone with you, just going off for hours.
But it's worth it though, right?
Man, what it literally was when you think about it, because that's how that's how a lot of like those final decisions were made, literally through those conversations of, you know what, I mean, shoot, I don't even remember, when I was on the way down to Atlanta when I had my son, and then the wreck happened, and then I had to book it back just to make it, just so that we could be safe and everything. You checked in, bro. You cared, bro. You really cared.
Of course.
You know, I would never, I can't never forget the stuff like that, bro. You know,
Well, in my head, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? We
right,
always talk about, oh, I'm sure for my family, I'm a rider, and all those catchphrases that mean absolutely nothing unless you put action to them. So if I
yeah,
tell you I got your back, I got your back. I am a firm believer in that. And not because I'm some special dude, is I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Simple as that. If you tell somebody you don't mess with them, don't mess with them. If you tell me you rock with them, rock with them.
yeah,
I think overcomplicate things sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We
right.
make complicate things when we can
But
just keep it. You know what I'm saying?
for sure, but there's a thing in there that you said that we gotta hit that. It's not that that is special, bro. You are special because in a world where you know having this face or presenting yourself as this, oh, it sounds good until you're actually tested with like, oh no, here is a real life challenge. Are you going to show up for them? It's that's where it really lies. Every single time, you rise to the occasion. That is a thing that is to me a separator from all the other mundane BS that people spout. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I can't take credit for all of it because over the years when I've had my challenges, people have showed up for me. Some people I knew, some people I rock with. So there's always been someone there that has said, hey, come back. We need you in the game. And I can't, everything I do from here on out is just showing thanks to everyone who protected me, the people I seen and the unseen people who had a hand in keeping me together. Because I didn't start out like this, and it's
Right.
always a work in progress. And I have my own dark days, but I realized there's something bigger I'm fighting for. And until I discovered that, it was like, yeah, whatever. So like I said, this it's y'all. You know what I mean? And a lot of people watching, shout out to y'all. Too many people to shout out and say I love, but man, it's the people, dog. Y'all keep me going because there's a lot of days where I'm like, I don't even want to get out of bed. Like, what the hell with this?
Mm.
And I'm like, all right, well, I got shit to do. I made a commitment to this person. I made a commitment to that person. I made a commitment to myself. I got to get up. And then, that's what it is. You know, one thing I am, if nothing more, is ridiculously fearless
Ridiculously.
and ridiculously determined. And what does Hope say? Hope don't run, Hope stay and fight. Yeah, that's kind of my steez. Yeah, might as well
Ridiculously.
see it through. Yeah,
Man, it's funny that you say that. That is definitely the name of a poem from my fraternity, which is hilarious.
really.
Still waiting on you, RG. Still waiting on you. But sincerely speaking, in my actual like I have always said that where like some people, not every friend is your friend, not every friend is your friend, but you've always proven yourself that even though you're not friends, like you have been one of the closest friends that I've ever had in this life.
Man, I
Um,
appreciate that.
I did want to get into, some of the things that you mentioned. How did, starting the United Front play its part in, those commitments and that mindset that you have, being ridiculously fearless.
So I'll put it like this: I got fired on my day off like Friday. It's from the old podcast company. I was literally planning out with the owner of that company, and we were a couple hours from starting a new season, and then I get an email like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore, and y'all can keep doing it if y'all want to." And I'm like, "Well, you're kind of the owner of the company, so if we don't have your blessing to work on your IP, then what are we doing?" So
Right.
technically, I'm fired. I can't just take your vision and just run with it because I'm here to help you push your vision. I'm not here to just run it on autopilot while you decide what you want to do.
Right.
So at first, honestly, I was going to retire from podcasts. So I'm like, you know what? We had me and Mike and the people in that. We had a great run. I'm
Mhm.
cool. And then the ancestors got on my ass. I started getting dreams from people I ain't seen in years. So it's like, no, 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 come on back. Come on back. And then when I really sat down and thought about it, I went to college. I knew
Yeah.
everything I needed to know to start a podcast. So I'm always going to be grateful to Bree for that one thing. because everything I learned it from her company. And I'm always going to be thankful for that. We may not ever do business again, but however, I always will have love for that. If I see you in the street, it's always love, it's always daps. Yeah. But I realized I knew more than I knew. And the first people I called was you and Mike. I was like, hey, y'all want to do something else? Let's roll. And I was like, yep. And I had a rough estimate. I wrote a bunch of stuff down on a piece of paper, and we went from there. Then I called Penny, I called Michelle, everybody on the network. I called them that same day, and the network got started in that moment because I couldn't stop. Everything in me told me to keep going, and I had to answer that. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short of their dreams is they don't answer the call. They don't answer the call. And I'm not talking about a telephone call. They don't answer the call from themselves on the inside. Something's calling out to you saying, hey, this is where you need to be. Go be that. And yeah, we all got a lot of excuses. Yeah, I got a job. I got kids. I got bills and stuff like that. But that stuff's going to be there regardless. So what's left? What's left? It's what you got in here and what you can give to the world. Because all those things are going to be there. So that's how we got started. I had a dream. All my ancestors got on my ass and told me I couldn't quit. And then I was like, fine, I need an army. And then I got on the phone and found an army. We're all owners, business partners. And we've been cooking, this is year 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's year 3.
Yeah, we moving. We moving, bro. We moving.
Yeah. And it's only getting better, man. It's only getting better. And shout out to our new partners. Like, now we got a radio partner. Like, think about it. In 3 years, we now have a radio partner. We got a life coach. You know what I'm saying? We got an educator. That'd be you. You know what I mean? We have so much resources, and I can't take credit for any of it because I surrounded myself with great people. I had the vision. I answered the call, and the gods and the ancestors was like, hey, all right, cool. You really gonna do this? All right, stop playing with us. Here, take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. That's really what happened.
Yeah. It was destined to be great. I wonder for you, was there ever like a moment where you felt like life was forcing you to grow before you were ready?
Yeah, every single day of the week. Every single day of the week, dog. And people only knew how little I want to actually do. And people knew how much I don't want to do anything. I am definitely dude, if I could sit in and I say this jokingly, if I could just sit here and drink coffee and play Xbox half the day and maybe get a little dinner around 7, that would be great. However, I'm the centerpiece of many different things. And it calls on me to be great. It calls on me to be what I was trained to be. I was trained to be a leader. I had a great father. I have a great mother. I had great uncles. I had great mentors. I had great teachers. And I would dishonor them if I didn't try to live up to their expectations in my own, because they gave me all the tools. Sometimes I took them kicking and screaming, but I had all the tools. Yeah, because, bro, most days I literally want to sit in front of my TV and play Xbox and drink coffee. That is what I want to do. However, because of the commitment I made to you and everybody else, we get up and we get going. Simple as that.
Talk to me about your first foray to media, radio, and, did it first find you or did you chase it?
I chased it, dude. A lot of people don't know. Actually, I went to a historically black college, HBCU. When I got out of school, I actually didn't want to go to college. And then on my senior year, somebody made fun of me because I didn't apply for a college. And I applied to one college and I got in. So I went to Fisk University out of spite. Straight spite.
Straight spite.
And when I got there, long story short, they sat us down the second day and they said, hey, look at all these people. You guys are the talented 10%. Be proud of yourself. In about 6 months, half y'all gonna be going out this room. You talking about deflating. Deflating. Because I was already there on the wing of the prayer and maybe one good loan. I was already there by the skin of my teeth. Right. But in that time, we had a radio station, on campus radio station. It was 88.1. I forgot the call sign. WFSK, yeah, Fisk Radio. And I heard the radio station. I heard the DJs. I'm like, I want to be a DJ. And it tied into something I did in my childhood. My sister and I used to like be really big in the radio. So we would make radio shows on our tape recorder. And we mimic all our favorite DJs from the radio. So I go in there and talk to the program director. I'm like, hey, I want to be on the radio. He said, all right, cool. He's like, you can have a midnight spot. He's like, do me 2 favors. He's like, play 2 commercials every hour and don't curse. Other than that, you do whatever the hell you want. I was like, word? So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my first radio show was called RG and the Midnight Crew. And it was a zoo because the Midnight Crew was whoever fit in the studio that night. So sometimes my show would have 30 people in the studio and it's mayhem. Pure mayhem. Unorganized mayhem. And we were taking phone calls. I think one night, my New York guy, he banned LL Cool J records. And you forget that the radio station is local. So when I went back to class, they was on my ass. They were people were tight because we banned LL Cool J for 4 hours.
Wow.
But that's where my radio kind of experience kind of started. Then, like most black kids, I did not finish school, so I took my butt back home and got a job. And my radio career actually continued, working for Home Depot. I fresh off knee surgery, I tore my knee up playing sports, and I was in denial like most people, and didn't get a check until it was like, okay, I don't work no more. Literally, I've had reconstruction on my knee twice. Yeah, because I'm hard-headed like that. So I was sitting in the phone center with my knee the size of grapefruit, and I don't know how I didn't get fired because I fell asleep every single day at work. I'm a phone center guy. I get up at 6 a.m. and I'm literally in the chair like this every single day till about 2, and no one bothered me because the phone's never rung. It's Home Depot. Who the hell is calling Home Depot, right?
Who's calling Home Depot?
Yeah, I get the hair. You open? Yes, click. That was the whole. I don't even know why they had a phone center at that point. So, long story short, I had that dream again. I remember me and my sister sitting in the living room making radio shows on the tape recorder, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be on the radio." And there was actually a broadcast school called Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts, and I went up there, and I said, "I want to be on the radio." I said, "All right, cool." It's like, "Cool, we can get you a loan," and they said, "Well, bro, you still owe X amount of dollars from Fisk University. You got to pay that off before you can get this loan," because I think they wanted like $1,000 a month without the actual loan. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I wasn't broke, but if I was standing right next to broke, you wouldn't be able to tell us apart a little bit though. So I said, I tell you what, I took a bumper sticker, I wrote my name on it. I was like, hey, this is my bumper sticker. I'll be back in a year to get that bumper sticker. And sure as shit, I was like, you know what? Got on my grind, paid off all that stuff, got it all straightened out, and I came back in the year and got my bumper sticker. And I graduated from Specs Howard School of Broadcast Art with a major in radio production and a minor in television production. Wow. And then from that point, it was time to get a radio job. So I pretty much had a 4-tempo, the old school 4-banger with the fake rims. Yeah, that was me. I was one of those guys. I think the system was probably 10 times more than the car was worth, but it ran like a mug. So to get myself on the radio, I did guerrilla marketing. I took 65 demo CDs and I sent it as far as my car could drive. And I ended up getting a hit. One problem, it's in Saginaw, Michigan. That's 100 miles away from my house. And you know what I did? I drove 100 miles. I took the interview and I was on the radio every weekend for about 2 years. Wow. But the funny part is, I'm a black guy at a country station. Yep. My first radio gig was a country station. Shout out to WKCQ. They gave your boy a chance. And why I love them so much is you know how people, they didn't see color? No, they didn't see color. Because what I found out is that people who operate radio station that look like me, they be on some nonsense. Because I'm not going to name these stations. I volunteer for every major colored radio station in my hood. And I was, oh man, so you got school, we got you for a job, just graduate, we got you. So I get out of school, and they was like, who was this? I'm like, yo, I just talked to you yesterday. What are you talking about? But then I drive 100 miles away. It's like, oh, we know you the weekend guy. We had a banquet. All your food is in the refrigerator. We put it away for you. Oh, here's your key to the station. Oh, Oh, we had a promotion. We know you couldn't come for the Garth Brooks concert, so we just left all your Garth Brooks swag in your desk. I worked 2 days a week. I had a desk and a key to a multi-million-dollar radio station. And I was just a part-timer. They treated me like I was one of them. The owner came up. He sat in on my radio shows. He gave me real-time critiques. They didn't treat me no different. They treated me like a professional. And that actually changed my whole steez about having these built-in ideas how people should treat you, because you never know. And if you build yourself into this wall where you don't see past a certain point, you're not going to grow.
Amen.
Because if I never took that chance, if I never gave those people an opportunity to prove me wrong, then I would have never got there. I wouldn't be here, because a lot of those principles I've learned are the stuff I still use till today. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what it is. So, yep. And then luckily I met my wife, had some kids, dropped out of radio, and thought I retired, and then got back into podcasting with Mike. Years later.
That right there, you said you dropped out of radio when you had the wife and kids, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that. I want to learn more about that transition right there.
It wasn't no transition. I can't pay these bills on some t-shirts and some tickets, Brody. It wasn't paying no. No, I love radio, but it was. I mean, now I'm an adult. Yeah, it's cool when you. I mean, I'm a guy. I love a case of being a bucket of chicken, and as long as I got like a couch or something to sleep on, I'm good. My kids and my wife kind of need more, so I moved away from radio and got a real job to make sure they were good.
They kind of need a little bit more. You know what I mean?
You know, yeah. I'm one Coca-Cola and a Faygo away from a good time most days. I don't need much, but the kids might want food, clothing, shelter, water, gas. So yeah, I moved away from the profession, not because of anything injustice. No, I was broke and I had to get a real job, and I did. You know, that was all. Because you don't really make money in radio unless you're in sales. Salespeople are the ones who make money, and I've been a salesperson amongst many things, and you're only good at your last sale, and that can be a little nerve-wracking. So I had to get something with a bit more stability at that time, because I felt that's what I needed at the time.
You know what's so interesting to me is the fact that, like, legitimately speaking, everything runs on sales, bro. Every single thing runs on sales, even from the largest companies. Everything runs on sales, on making somebody else believe in your idea, to invest money in it, and then you can take that funds and hire people at different levels to be able to have them do the work that you need for them to do. But at the top level of it all is making someone else believe in an idea, betting on yourself or betting on your thought process, your idea, your company, and making it marketable to where someone else will say, "Oh, I should put my money here and make that happen." You know, so what's even crazier is that I remember specifically back when I was working in a call center, I was specifically saying I would never work in sales. I don't want to have to depend on selling stuff to other people. Unbeknownst to me, that's what the actual goal of mine is. Even with this whole apartment stuff, bro, it's like, legitimately speaking, it's like, all right, now that's I'm selling this idea to have people invest in it and make sure that, okay, like, it makes sense for them, and that way it comes back to me that it makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's a very, very real thing that I believe. I mean, even with the United Front Network, bro, for us to get the sponsors that we want, for us to continue to grow as a platform, we literally need to sell this idea that, this is where you want to tune in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, this is the content that you want to consume. And this is where you want to lend your ears, not just because you know us personally, but because the conversation or whatever is being exchanged here is what will positively impact your life, your wellness, or whatever, for you. You know what I mean? It's literally just appealing. It's literally appealing to each audience member and making them feel as if, like, oh, okay, I have a vested interest inside of this show because something inside of it resonates with me. And it's literally selling an idea, it's where it's like we've moved from other things being the product and made the product ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say it like this: if you're not selling, you're being sold to, whether you believe it or not.
Facts.
I don't care if it's a grant.
Facts.
I don't care if it's I don't care if it's potatoes at your grocery store. You're either selling or you're being sold to. You got to sell people on the ideas. You have to sell people on whatever. Like when you fill out a grant, you're selling the idea that you can help people. It's not like, oh, you just begging for money. No, you're selling. It's everything is about selling. And I don't mean that in a dirty, dishonest way. You have to carry yourself in a way where people will believe in what you say, and then you have to back that shit up. And that's where people fall short. Exactly. So that's one reason I'm the same guy on this camera as off this camera, because I have to live with the imagery I put out there. I am selling the idea of myself. And the only way I can do that is by being honest with myself. Am I rich? Not yet. you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff, So when people say, oh man, I got it made on a podcast. No. Most people don't. They want to, they're talking themselves and selling themselves an idea they will be successful, but they probably haven't made it yet.
Yeah. It's kind of like when I go back and I listen to older rappers, a lot old raps, from all of our like greats, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, like they were literally in their songs. Like, for example, if you listen to old Wiz and Currency, like the Housewife mix, bro, they were literally manifesting their lives in their raps. You know what I mean? Yes. And what I'm recognizing is that, dog, a lot of the music that we play to ourselves is literally just that. And I think
it's audio manifestation. Yep, I agree.
That's what I'm literally at. One thing for certain, two things for sure is that I know for a fact, and shout out to Penny. Like I know for a fact I'm
the queen of manifestation. Shout out to Penny,
bro. Because it's prayer and manifestation. I say y'all pray, meditate, manifest as well. And I'm telling you, it'll work. But I'm shout out to Penny because of the fact that she was going. She's made it to where like I gotta give credit to her, bro. Like when this first apartment complex, like happens, it's gonna be like that's why it's gonna be such a big celebration for it, because of the fact that it's like, bro, like I said something was gonna happen before I turned 36, and I also said that, hey, look, this is gonna take place by the time I'm 36, and I'm actively been like, okay, so this is all I see right now. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to remove everything else from out of the way. But I know one thing for certain, two things for sure. Right. Doing this, right, bro, I wouldn't have been able to continue to have that conversation if, in fact, you didn't call me and say, hey, you want to be on this network? I just want you to just remember that. Just remember that. So when that check hits your mailbox and you like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's like, yeah, bro, you part of the reason why I'm able to do this. Bro, you have.
Sir, I will say it like this. I get a check in the mail from Ezel Moon. The first thing is we cash first, we ask questions later. What are we talking about here? I'm like, what the heck? What are we talking about here? Now, we'll figure it out on the back end because we're about to put this in my savings account right now.
For sure. Hey, and then we go to that spot and find Shorty to try to give me her number while that was shooting on stage. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break.
Hey, yo, inside information there, sir.
Hey, listen, they will never know.
They sure won't. Are we gonna do it? Sure.
WSAN Radio, the soul of America and beyond. Join DJ Ron G and the WSAN crew every day for the Ron G Morning Show, Funk Friday, and Gospel Brunch Sunday. From local heroes to national guests, WSAN Radio connects you to the pulse of our community. One song, one story, one soul at a time. WSAN Radio, where music, motivation, and movement come together. Streaming live, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and WSANradio.com.
Got me together with this two-piece. It's the good leggings, no see-through business.
And
Hey, we're back.
we are back. Big shout out to all of our sponsors and to the guy that created some of those commercials for those people.
Who's that guy?
Nudge,
Really
nudge.
good at editing and stuff. Wow, I need to get that guy's
Man.
number.
God. Listen, you guys, if you need his contact information, you just let me know. I promise. He's closer than you think.
Mm-hmm. In fact, you can email him at weareunited@myhouse.com. Emails monitored all the time. This guy's amazing.
So awesome. Before we continue, just in case you are just tuning in because of the fact that you saw my shenanigans on Instagram today, April Fools. I'm not married.
I'm going to tell you right now. Someone called me and said, "When he get engaged?" I'm like, "He's tooling with you." Someone actually called me to verify. I'm like, "No,
bro. Listen.
no, no,
Listen.
sir."
So my phone is. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of my DMs. That it got bad. I keep
Good
getting
gravy,
cussed
man.
out. I really believe that there's a group of people that are dedicated to making sure that I'm single for the rest of my life, bro.
Bruh.
And do not want it any other way. Like they don't want it any other way. Like that is what they believe is.
That is a whole different episode and a whole different pile of hate mail that we don't have time for right now.
Not at all. Not at all. Let's get right back into it. So
yes,
these next few questions, brother, I want you to know will mimic, in fact, they are about you, but they're going to mimic what we have dealt with in the past before on a show that we did, and we will be doing again called Move Man Moves Monday.
Yes.
But instead, this is growing with gains.
Yeah, growing with gains. That's good. Lifting weights, getting gains. Right on. Okay, right on. I respect it.
Do you think people become who they truly are through love or through suffering?
Both. Both. Sometimes they're the same thing because love hurts sometimes, my dog. So love sometimes hurts. Both, actually, because I think the love brings back our humanity and the suffering gives us the fortitude to carry on. Because and I've said this a million times and I'll say it a million times more. The same love that made you give your girl that ring is the same love that might have somebody shooting up the club. It's the same love. It's all in what you do with it. Love for your homies, love for your woman, love for your kids, love for life, love for death. It's all the same emotion. It's how you use it.
I think because of the fact that it gets applied in different areas, that's what makes it different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the love that in which I would have for like my significant other, can't be the same love that I would have for my son.
Why not?
Because
you might be mistaking love in the relationship you have. The love is always there, but the relationship dynamics change with the people you're dealing with. In my opinion, of course.
The relationship dynamic to me is contingent upon how much love. Like, for example, bro, how I feel about my students, the love I have for them is not the same love that I have for you. Right?
Yeah. There's degrees to it, of course.
I've been in the trenches with you.
Yes.
I love them out of the fact that, hey, as the man that has experienced being an educator, as a man that has been a custodian of people's lives, I in fact I look them in the eye and say, hey, I love you and I'm going to be there for you. But I know for a fact that if I was to get a phone call in regards to, hey, like, something happened to you, I'm coming to you because of the fact that I'm saying, like, there's a symbiote, there's a love there that is going to be different than from what I would engage with anybody else. Right?
That's why there's different levels of relationship, there's different levels of love. Yeah, you can have love for everybody, love for man, love for dog, love for air, but the relationship is what level of love you get to. See what I'm saying? It's the level of love. If someone tells me Ezel moves in trouble, I'm trying to figure out how the hell it happened. If I see somebody with a flat tire, I may pull over, I may not. And I don't love them. But I'm not about to change your tire, random person. I'm just gonna drive by you. Just saying, it's a big difference. I still got love for you. I'm just not changing your tire. Sorry, but if you still calls me, I drive across the country, no problem. You know what I'm saying? It's the level of relationship you have.
Right.
It's all love. What you got?
Suffering though, like I believe that if you suffer with, I feel like, bro, suffering with someone can create some of the most interesting bonds ever. You know what I mean? I used to really believe that if you suffered with someone, then you would in fact like that. That's something that you can't take that away. But I've come to terms with the fact that you can go through hell and high water with someone, but they can still leave you at the drop of a dime. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. De La Soul said pain's gonna make it better. And so you have I think what we get, right? We see people's in journey, right? We see this person, now they got the rollie, now they're here. They live the way we perceive ourselves to live, but we don't know what they did or what they suffered to get to this point. And when you hear the backstory of some of these successful people, I'll never want to deal with that. Oh no. You keep that story to yourself. That sounded horrible. I will take my suffering 24/7. Because some of these people really did have really horrible things happen to them, and this is the end result.
True.
And everyone who thinks you're going to get anywhere of significance and not have any struggle, I beg to differ. I got swampland in like Michigan right now to sell you, because if you think you're gonna get through this without scars, it's never gonna effing happen. I'll be the first to tell you that. Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
No, you're right.
Suffering is what it is. And I had to learn that, right? Because outside of flipping my car over, I consider myself like Tiger Woods in the early days. I'm surprised when I don't win. That's the mentality I walk into. I'm surprised when I don't win because I feel like I'm that guy. In my head,
clip that?
Yes. I'm surprised when I don't win.
Yeah.
And I've felt like that all my life. What do you mean I didn't win? What? Let's recount. That's the way I look at myself. So when I have adversity, I had to learn how to deal with adversity. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you're used to living a certain way, you're used to having certain things, and all of a sudden you find yourself a late night waiting for the bus in 0 degrees, and you feel like you want to cry, but you still got 20 miles to get to the crib, so you got to hold that because the tears might freeze your face. I've had nights like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's what shaped me. I had to have some things not go right to understand to cherish and understand what I could gain by going through that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that like, oh man, it's all together. No. Shit's still broken, but we still fight through it. We still fight through it. You know what I mean?
You ain't got no choice but to fight through it.
You gotta fight through it.
Well, my thing is, when it comes to suffering, there's always this quote in the back of my mind where
shout out to my little sister.
What'd you say?
Shout out to my little sister. Say this guy's spitting. Shout out to my little sister.
No, you are. You really are.
Robin in the building though. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Joanne. We got someone there speaking in French. I don't know how to speak French, but I will translate it and shout you out. Thank you for the person who's speaking French. So anybody speaking French?
What's the name?
I can't even pronounce that, my boy. But I did start it so we can look it up later. So thank you. So we got people chiming in from all over the world, but I had to shout them out.
Show you, guy. So there is a quote that it said that pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice.
Yeah, true. On some levels, right? So, but you have to define pain and suffering. Mm-hmm. It has to be defined, because what you might consider pain and suffering, that might be Tuesday for me. Like, right. And I'll give you an analogy of a boxer, right? A boxer is going to go through a lot of pain and suffering, training for a fight to go through what? More pain and suffering. You know why? Because there's a goal there. He's going to cut weight. He's going to have miserable days. He's not going to see his kids if he really wants to be a part of this craft. That's pain and suffering.
Right.
Dude, I work at the desk. If I get a paper cut, I'm ready to call off work. Stop playing with me. This is horrible. I cannot work under these conditions. What do you mean there's no more latte? Who works under these conditions? You know what I'm saying? You have to clearly define what your pain and suffering is. You know what I'm saying? Because my pain and suffering, not having the correct latte, and that guy getting beat up every day to go fight somebody in 6 months, two different things.
Two totally different things. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gotta
You've
work.
been given a lot of good kicking a lot of game and knowledge in this interview, dog. For real.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
is wisdom something that we earn or something pain leaves behind when it exits?
Ooh.
Yeah, you can use your definition of pain for that one.
I don't know. Pain reminds you of
I think
the consequence. Pain is a reminder of consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if that's the clear definer. That's the only thing I kind of have a hang up on. It definitely teaches you, but I don't know if it's the end all be all. Because the wisdom comes from learning. That's where you gain the wisdom. You take the jewels and you take the people, you take the interactions, and you try to.
But you can learn from consequences, right?
Yeah. To that. And you can also learn from other pieces of consequences. You don't always have to go through stuff to understand there's consequences, right? I'll give you a small story. Like, here's how I taught my youngest son to leave drugs alone, right? And I'm being dead serious. I said, bro, I can tell you don't do drugs, don't do drugs. I was like, look at this person right here. Lady look normal. I said, look at her on meth. Do you want to look like that? Because that's what's going to happen if you start messing with these drugs. I had to show him the beginning and the end. If this is what you want to do, this is where you will be. So we can use other people's pain to understand better things. I learned from my parents. I watched my parents work really hard to keep shit together. I learned from their pain. I learned there were certain things that they went through that I didn't want to deal with. I didn't have to go through it to know that I didn't want to be it. And a lot of people just think because they went through it, they're stuck in it instead of trying to take that game and convert it into something you like, right? So I'm one of them parents where I'm one of them kids where I had to be before the streetlights. I got my butt whooped if I did wrong. Now, did I go full my parents and just like get the switch out for every little thing? No. But did I incorporate a whooping or two? Hell yeah. Because I felt there was some of that pain and some of that value they need to learn and the consequences before they learned what the real consequences were when they got older.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's kind of a combination of both, but pain is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. It's what you learn from it and what you take from it. Because how many times have you heard a person say, "Oh man, I'm messed up out here in these streets, man," and "Oh man, if I just hit it, just to set this right way," but they keep doing the same dumb shit over and over again, and they know what's going to happen. They know if they keep going back to the same girl, she's going to break your heart. They know if they keep buying the same rims, they're going to bend on you. They keep knowing if they keep buying the same video game, it's not going to be fun. But they're so pre-programmed, they're so determined to do it their way instead of learning the game, they actually doom themselves and they don't learn from their own mistakes because they are so hell-bent on doing it their way to the point where they don't see another way and they actually cut themselves off from the true wisdom. Sometimes being stubborn is a bad thing. Sometimes not understanding the bigger picture is a horrible thing because you'll keep bumping your head against the wall over and over again and still end up in the same space and still be just as miserable as you was 4 days ago. Don't happen.
Thanks.
What it is.
Thanks.
And I was once that guy. When I was younger, I was that guy where I was like, I had this one set idea on how shit was going to get done. And if it didn't work out that way, scrap the whole thing. And it held me back for so many years until I realized, like, wait a minute, it's not the end of the world. I didn't get that job. Okay, cool. But I had to understand that and accept loss. I had to accept that defeat. I had to accept that. And that didn't make me a bad person. It didn't make the situation messed up. It wasn't for me. And maybe my approach doesn't work. Maybe I should look at it a different way. Maybe I should pick up game for someone else. Dude, you'd be surprised how many people I kind of study in this space. From the Joe Buttons to the Master P's to the Jesse Jacksons of the world to even the Tesla dude. I study these guys because I look at what they did and I try to understand how that applies to me and how I want to grow. And I try to put those lessons that I learned from them in my space and do it my way.
You know,
I'm always a student. Like even Wu-Tang. Dude,
Yeah.
the concept of our network is based on Wu-Tang.
Literally.
He took 9 dudes, gave them all separate record deals. They had a parent deal on their own, and they all ate well for the rest of their lives. You know why? Because of their unity and their talent. They were not all the same dudes. They all took different paths, but at the end of the day, because their unity and their power, they stuck together, and we're still talking about these dudes 20 years later. And
So
all these dudes are good.
So who am I? Who am I in Wu-Tang?
Oh, dude, you're absolutely Method Man. Are you kidding me? Absolutely Method Man.
Say that.
See, okay, so I almost went ODB, but you don't have a drug problem, which thank God you don't. Yeah. Don't have a drug problem, so we can't call you ODB. But you got ODB tendencies, because ODB will show up anywhere. You will show up anywhere, so you got ODB tendencies. I will say that. But I will give you Method Man. Just say it.
Oh snap, bro! That's real. I was gonna say
it.
he was you was literally the RZA, bro.
Yeah, I take a lot of cues from the RZA.
Yeah,
I do.
I can. It shows, bro. It shows. I was like, my man is literally. He's the RZA, bro. I'm like, one more.
ODB tendencies is funny. I'm trying not to.
ODB tendencies has me like crying. Like I'm like, that's a wild concept. He said, but you ain't got no drug problem, so you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You good. All right. If someone is always strong for others, where does their unspoken weakness go?
Dude, I deal with that. I deal with that all the time, right? Because I always kind of have to be on, and sometimes there's no off button.
Right.
The weakness is always there.
Yeah.
What it is you have to be honest with yourself and acknowledge it. And I think that's where most of us get it wrong. We think just because we have to be a certain way, we can't never feel anything else. And it actually detaches you from your human side. So when you do slow down, you got all this, it's almost like a waterfall, B, where you got all this pressure that's on this side. And as soon as you let down, now you up here like snot bubbles, you're all messed up because you never acknowledge it. You never find a way to exercise those things or take those things off the board and actually deal with them. So that is one thing I really, really had to be honest with myself, because I always have to be the leader, not because I want to be, because I have to be. But with that being said, being a leader, there's a lot of emotional things that you do have to put to the side for the good of others, to self-sacrifice. But you have to take time to yourself, even if it's just in your mind, to let yourself feel those things so you can get them out your system, because all that pressure will kill you. I will tell you this, and I can be totally honest. I was you'd be surprised. I was really intense when I was a teenager. I used to take ulcer medication at 18 years old. I was mad intense because I wanted so many things to work, but I didn't know how to express it, and it was killing me. And dude was like, "Hey, dude, you want to have an ulcer at 25? Get a grip." Doctor really told me to get a grip. I was like, "Damn, he right." You know, I was stressing myself out. I'm just starting life. So I had to learn kind of early to kind of get a grip and to let stuff go. And the older I got, the easier it became. Because I realized there were so many things out of my control, and I couldn't let it keep me from doing what I was meant to do. And that was the hardest lesson I ever learned, was being able to accept the things I could not control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I definitely know. I mean, you know,
you know. This is my main man. That's King Earl. Me and him grew up together next door. Yes, I was a very intense kid. I don't know why, because I was Power Rangers and Rage at the same time, and I don't know where the rage. I think I inherited the rage, but yeah, I was intense. Yeah. But I wasn't like mean, but I was super competitive, and I always, like Tiger Woods. I'm surprised when I don't win. Yeah. And carries great possibility and great problems if you don't manage your problem. Yeah.
So I want to get into the goal of the show. The reason why I do this, which is philanthropy, garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today, and why is the cause that it faces so important to you?
I actually have 2 today, right?
Hey,
I have 2. One you need money for, one you do not need money for. I'm trying to see where it is. Where am I? Oh, yep. My friends and family, a sound of my voice, there is a company called Forgotten Harvest. I'm not sure if they're all over the country, but I know they're here in Michigan. If you don't have money, you can volunteer. If you know someone that needs help, you can go on that website and get referrals. So right now, food is mad high. You know, you got to make a decision between the cheeseburger and a tank of gas. It's kind of ill out here. Everybody needs help. If you know someone needs help, give them this website, and they have resources to get you food. A lot of churches, a lot of companies use Forgotten Harvest because what they do is they take the surpluses from the grocery stores and they give it out free of charge. You just got to find your spot, pull up, get the hookup. If you are a person that says, hey, I got my bread, I don't need that, give it to somebody who does. Yes. Passing out information that helps the world is a good thing. So even if you got it like that, cool, I'm happy. But make sure if you know somebody who don't got it like that, who does need a little help, give them the website. It don't cost you nothing to be cool. So please invest in Forgotten Harvest. Shout out to those guys. I've actually volunteered for myself a couple different times, and it was pretty dope experience. Actually took the kids there, and we actually volunteered our help. So if you can't give loot, you can give time. If you can't give time, give them information. It all counts. All right. And I'm going to go ISO for this. Forgive me. I'm going to go ISO for this. Yeah,
go ahead. Get the ISO.
You are the charity. And here's what I mean by that. What we're finding out is that the world is becoming cruel and demeaning, and we're losing our humanity. It costs you nothing to be kind. It costs you nothing to be polite. It costs you nothing to hold the door for somebody. If you want to get back to the world, you have no money. It costs you nothing to be a decent human being. And it ain't got shit to do with gender. And it ain't got shit to do with your tax scores or whatever. Be a decent person. That will take you a long way. You don't got to have money to be decent. Just be decent. That is the best donation to the world you can do, especially now. Because the world is always going to be crazy, but the one thing you have control over is what you do in your personal life. So you want to donate, you want to go to Forgotten Harvest, just be a decent person. And that's a dub right there.
Amen to that one. Amen to that one. Amen to that one. So, hopefully those who are watching now or in the future, then when they run this back, will in fact take their time, energy, and efforts towards Forgotten Harvest, as well as just be a decent person in the world, man. Show people that kindness, empathy, and understanding that is really missing from the world.
And then people will actually be redeemable. Call back.
See, I stayed away from it. Matter of fact, look. All right, you like to close out with words of wisdom, as you know. What words of wisdom would you have for someone who, in fact, has committed what we would consider irredeemable acts?
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw yourself, big dog. Yeah.
I might saw you. No, I'm just playing. That's what happens when you're the engineer and the host, right? So,
yep.
The first thing you gotta do is forgive yourself, right? And be honest. Because we all fall short, dude. I make mistakes all the time. But one thing I can do is be honest with myself. If I F up, I effed up. It's okay. The main thing we're going for right now is being honest with ourselves. That's the first step to redeem yourself. Seeing where you went wrong at. Not seeing where everybody else went wrong at and how they wronged you. First, you look inside, and then you reach out. Mm-hmm. But if you don't fix this in here, then you're never going to find the redemption, because the redemption is not for us to see you. It's for you to see yourself the way you need to see yourself. And I think that's where we get it wrong at. We're doing these things so we can gain their approval from everybody outside of here. It don't matter. I'm a human. I'm a flawed human just like everybody else. What gives me the right to tell you you're not redeemable? But you know who does give you the right to tell you you're redeemable? You do. So start with you. And then if people want to accept you for who they are, for who you are, cool. If not, like Bernie Mac said on House Party 2, call back. Yeah. Because it don't matter. The main thing you're doing is finding redemption within yourself to live the better life you're supposed to live. Simple as that.
Amen to that one. Amen to that one, my brother. Man, you know you know how to do that thing you do where you drop the knowledge and are a good human being and let people know that hey, I got it all up here. I appreciate that, my guy. Thank you for bringing your energy, your effort, who you are to the show. You already know what I'm finna do. I'm about to say
Mm-hmm.
some. I'm about to close it out. So see
Can I
you
take
after.
myself down?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Because every time I turn around, I keep cutting him off when he be talking to his guests. So I had to ask
He
him this.
definitely does. I want y'all to know that. Like, that's a real thing. And I want to give a public apology to so many people. They're probably like, bro, like, what happened? What did I do? He just don't he rocks with you. We all rock with you. It's just,
Yeah,
Hey,
because somebody doesn't really give me an outro cue. He'll be acting like he's about to
I
close
should.
and he'll say something else. And I'm
All
like,
right.
but anyway,
All
I'm
right, I'm
gonna
gonna
take
start
myself
doing
down.
the outro cue is gonna be this to them. But then again, that's kind of like my outro cue, like, well, I do peace and then well, and then I turn and you be like, okay, that's the outro. So what's my outro cue for the people? I think that's gonna
Ooh.
be it. That's gonna be the outro cue.
Oh, no.
All right, y'all. This is live, so I just want y'all to know
Yes.
this is literally how this goes. Literally, all right. That's gonna be my outro cue to them. So for those of y'all who are watching this, you know what the outro cue is now.
Do it one more time. You broke up for a minute. Say it one more time. I'm just testing. All right.
All right,
Outro.
you ready?
Yes.
All right. All right. I love this guy. Yeah, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in this evening. Some people build platforms, some people build people, and sometimes the strongest people are the ones who quietly steady others while carrying weight on their own. Tonight's conversation, man, I hope it reminded y'all that resilience doesn't always announce itself loudly. It often shows up as consistency, loyalty, and vision. All qualities that my brother RG, carries. Thank y'all again so much. Tune in this Friday, 5 p.m. We have a special interview that I think that you guys will definitely enjoy. So tell a friend to tell a friend. We have a frame conversation on this Friday, and we'll be back to our regular schedule next Wednesday as well. We have another amazing guest too. So see you then. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Peace.